Zen and the Art of New York Times Headline Writing. The New York Times has just published one of the most insane headlines that I have ever seen it publish, which is really saying something. Gaza's Deadly Aid Deliveries, the title blares. If you were among the majority of people who only skim the headline without reading the rest of the article, you would have no idea that Israel has spent the last few days massacring starving civilians at aid sites and lying about it. You would also have no idea that it is Israel who's been starving them in the first place. The headline is written in such a passive, amorphous way that it sounds like the aid deliveries themselves are deadly. Like the bags of flour are picking up assault rifles and firing on desperate Palestinians queuing for food or something. The subheadline is no better. Israel's troops have repeatedly shot near food distribution sites. Oh? They've shot near food distribution sites, have they? Could their discharging their weapons in close proximity to the aid sites possibly have something to do with the aforementioned deadliness of the aid deliveries? Are we, the readers, supposed to connect these two pieces of information for ourselves, or are we meant to view them as two separate data points which may or may not have anything to do with one another? The article itself makes clear that Israel has admitted that IDF troops fired their weapons near people waiting for aid after they failed to respond to warning shots. So you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what happened here. But in mainstream publications, the headlines are written by editors, not by the journalists who write the articles. So they get to frame the story in whatever way suits their propaganda agenda for the majority who never read past the headline. We saw another amazingly manipulative New York Times headline last month. Israeli soldiers fire into air to disperse Western diplomats in West Bank, about the IDF firing warning shots at a delegation of foreign officials attempting to visit Jenin. This was a story which provoked outcry and condemnation throughout the Western world. But look at the lengths the New York Times editor went to in order to frame the IDF's actions in the most innocent way possible. They were fired into the air. They were firing to disperse Western diplomats. Like that's a thing. Like diplomats are crows on a cornfield or something. Oh yeah, you get too many diplomats flocking around and you gotta fire a few rounds to disperse them. Just normal stuff. It's amazing how creative these freaks get when they need to publicly exonerate Israel and its Western allies of their crimes. The IDF commits a war crime, and suddenly these stuffy mass media editors who've never created any art in their lives transform into poets, bending and twisting the English language to come up with lines that read more like Zen koans than reporting on an important news event. It's impossible to have too much disdain for these people.